We are facing a looming health crisis. Yes, another one. We're talking about a disease that affects 1 in every 4 adults, even in this country. It's number 10 in the list of diseases, of the key diseases leading to loss of life years in the CDC in the United States, with an over $500 billion economic burden just in the US plus the EU alone. And yet there are no approved drugs. Of course, I'm talking about fatty liver disease. We are Galea Therapeutics, and we have a mission to help the medical community put an end to this global epidemic. We are a spin-off from key research centers in Barcelona, in Madrid, in Malaga, all of them collaborating after decades of work on the study of the endocannabinoid and PPAR gamma receptor systems. I want to thank the organizers. I want to thank you in the audience for the privilege of representing my colleagues, an outstanding team of people with proven expertise in the scientific, medical, and business fields. And I need to apologize in this house of the medical profession for oversimplifying what is really a complex disease. I'm going to stress only a few key points. Fatty liver disease mostly is the product of excess food and excess alcohol intake, leading to excess accumulation of fat in the liver. You can see it compared to healthy liver in this histology. Mostly, this is silent. Most people, this huge number of people, maybe 10 million in this country, often are not seen unless there's some reason to look at their liver. The problem is this, in a large proportion of people, evolves into an inflammatory disease, a hepatitis called steatohepatitis, fatty hepatitis, and it's known by NASH for the non-alcoholic variant or ASH for the alcoholic variant. A lot of people are talking about NASH because ASH is seen to be very difficult to address. I want to stress that we're interested in both. Although this one is more prevalent, the whole impact of both of them is quite similar in society. Important point, this inflammatory stage is seen as reversible. There is good reasons to hope that it can be reversed by simply modifying lifestyle. Looks simple, but most of the clinical experts will tell you this is very difficult to achieve for most of the population, or by pharmacotherapy. Unfortunately, a large portion of these patients progress into a further stage where disease is irreversible. Fibrosis takes place, liver cells are destroyed, replaced by fibrotic tissue, and it advances into cirrhosis from which most people don't come out. They either die from complications of cirrhosis itself, from other associated diseases, or they are some of the few lucky ones that can receive a liver transplant. So, it's not surprising, given this huge economic burden that I mentioned, given that there are 2 large sources of the disease in the population with similar impact on disability, not just mortality, because these people spend long years of disability before the end of their disease. Surprising that there are no drugs approved yet, and not surprising that market estimates are very large. I want to note that experts interviewed in these market surveys, specialists in the disease, see intervention at the steatosis level, that is before fibrosis, as one of the key contributors in the future for treatment of the disease. However, if you look at our competitors, what they're doing right now in the clinic is they're focusing on the advanced stages of the disease, more on the fibrotic stages, where perhaps the patient is in more urgent need, but also where the disease is very difficult to treat. We agree with the specialists, and what we would like to provide are solutions for early treatment of the disease at stages where fibrosis has barely advanced, where it can be considered still reversible. We believe that this is not only going to be a benefit to the patient, it's only going to be also lower cost in drug development, and more importantly, lower cost to the health system completely. We are developing a novel class of molecules to address these unmet needs in liver disease, And I'm going to focus today on the most advanced candidate. Gal-72 is a unique molecule. There is nothing out there in development today. It targets two of the main systems involved in regulating liver fat metabolism, the PPAR alpha system and the CBR1 receptors. Both act on the liver to control metabolism and restore its function. Through CNS action from the CBR1 receptor, we are also able to control the compulsive ingestion of alcohol and food, which is driving force for the disease in the first place. Very interestingly, we have no safety issues detected, and we have been looking for them very hard because CBR1 is known from previous experiences to be the source of safety issues for other compounds developed previously. Ours is a neutral antagonist. We don't see it acting in the central nervous system. We see it acting on the vagus nerve and reaching the central nervous system indirectly. I don't have time to go into all of this, but let me just point out that we are able to revert both liver and blood lipids to normal levels, and we are blocking liver tissue destruction remarkably, stopping inflammation, liver and systemic inflammation, and also reducing the food and alcohol intake. These are preclinical models of disease. So the predictions based on mechanism of action are coming through, and we are meeting all 5 points in the wish list of the key specialists in the disease. No other drug under development today has such a complete approach. For us, the candidate is also outstanding. We selected it because not only its unique mode of action and the safety profile, it has very good PK, it's a small molecule, easy to manufacture, and a strong IP position. So our plan to move forward with this compound is very simple. In stage 1, we would like to reach the milestone of IND or CTA enabling. We want to get the authorization for clinical trials. In stage 2, we want to demonstrate safety in healthy volunteers in a phase 1 trial. In stage 3, we want to demonstrate efficacy trials in patients in a clinical phase 2. I want to stress for the first step, I was asked by Nadia to look at that one in particular. We are looking for 1.6 million investment. We believe we are going to be finished in 12 months because there is significant amount of preclinical work before this. We have to conduct several assays under GLP conditions, and the milestone for this stage is to have the official authorization to start clinical trials so that we can move to the next steps. If you look at the public domain, you will see that the industry is very avid for these kinds of compounds, having valued companies, biotech companies developing these compounds very highly and reaching deals already very significant at preclinical stages before actual efficacy has been proven in many cases. This is why we believe, I am convinced, that we can offer investors like those in this room who would like to join us in this drug development process to be able to actually help them fulfill and even exceed their objectives in investment, while at the same time they are participating in this project to really help the medical community stop this epidemic. I want to thank you all. That's my contact information. Happy to provide additional detail for anybody interested.